gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be going into our second best of one of today. The winner will be going on to face off against Spirit Academy. And, well, we've got Tengri versus Vega Squadron, two teams that I could actually see getting quite far throughout this. Obviously, I think only two teams from each group go through, so it will be quite a difficult stance for them to both make it. But Vega Squadron, obviously making it through last year and throwing up a bit of a storm, it has to be said. Joining me, once again, it's going to be Harry.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Tengri are a team that have done a decent bit of work as well since we sort of saw them appear. And, they have a couple of players who I do think have a lot of potential. Ramzik is one which, is sort of one of your go-tos for Tengri. I always like Pachanga. I think he can do a hell of a lot. And SNK recently has been doing very well for the team. So, they definitely have a lot of talent, spread across them. As you said, the Vega Squadron, they're no exception to that rule. But already, Pachanga's going to be opening things up. Does eliminate Hachi off the bat in this pistol, and already grabbing that man advantage very early on. No trade or equalizer to come in just yet.
Yeah, full armor. Every single player with Kevlar in this round. We have a decoy or two, but no real utility. Fitch will be able to find another with Mur on the trade. Pushing up short, trying to find one. Sonic actually up close, maybe able to do some damage, but the jumping headshot absolutely destroys him. It will at least be a trade, meaning a 2 versus 3. And look at the position of Pachan. Great spot from him. Will catch out, leave the bomb in the corner. Will go down to Mur eventually, who now has a lot of work to do. Hits the dink through the box, but needs to find this kill, and he just won't. SNK will finish him off. 1-0 to Tengri. Great start in the pistol.
Yeah, now looking to try and keep this lead. We will be seeing them bar down. This time it's Famas is almost across the board. The UMP up on Pachanga. And, we've been seeing the Famas board up a lot more. Could this be, because at range now it is better than that UMP? I think so. Maybe. You never know. But anyway, already over towards mid. Just a complete and utter armada of Vega Squadron. Trying to lay down the hurt with these digs. Do you find a bit of damage down over towards window? Ramzik doesn't want to stick around much longer and will be falling on backs. They do get control of middle. You see SNK is looking a little bit curious, but doesn't want to be peeking out into the might of these digs down through mid. So let's just play things passively for the time being.
No armor actually picked up over on that T side either, so not really fully investing into this round. It means that if they do a decent amount of damage, maybe they can force into the next, and obviously alongside that, you have the sort of chance to get decent amount of utility in their buy round as well. So I'm a big fan of these sort of strategies. If they really want to, they could even buy another deagle up in the next round and no real harm done. The chances are if you miss that sort of first or second deag, even with armor, the likelihood is you will die. So it's not the worst case scenario. SNK able to bring one more in. Mur going to go very, very aggressive, and JR is able to at least bring one back into the favor. Still an awful lot to do, and with JR now the only one left alive, he's going to fall. The Famas is working out perfectly. They actually all stay alive as well, other than the one player who didn't have a Famas, so clearly he just made the wrong choice.
Yeah, they're not going to waste any time keeping these UMPs in play, because Fitch is keen to pick himself up the M4. Still with all those Famases across the board, or Fami, or as you like to say, Tom, a family.
I resisted myself. Yeah, no, you need all 5 and then you can have a family.
No. This is a broken family. But yeah, already Ramsey able to find the first. As Mur goes down, the Famas over in mid. Going to do the job of decapitating him. Now these Glocks, for the most part, the PT-50 on Chopper, are just going to try and raid in towards the A-bomb site, but now Fitch with the M4 going to peek it out through CT, gets himself 2, and then Ramsey's there to pick up a Another 2 as well. 3 for him in total as Tengri go ahead and pick up these first 3 rounds almost flawlessly with these rifles. They keep 4 alive in the last 5. Sorry, 4 in that second round and 5 in that previous. So they've got plenty of cash building up now on the CT side.
Yeah, that's a great start for them. Even if they're to lose this round, it means that they will still have a bye going into the next. AWP straight in for JR, who was pretty much saving. And you can see this is sort of the result of not fully investing into the last couple. They have Molotovs on pretty much every single player. Decent amount of utility. Unfortunately, they don't have 5 members anymore, as Chopper's going to go down to the aggression in Palace, catching out their opponent, switching up to the AK as well. Hootie going to go pushing in, but I thought we'd go down. Actually wins the duel, but quickly traded back by Ramzik, leaving it into this 4 versus 3 scenario. Now, 2 players are still in the back of apps, but they're sort of isolated now. Really, they're hoping that someone will peek into the angle with JR holding it. But really, they needed to try and help out. So far, all we've really seen from this T side is 2 individual pushes.
Yeah, and JR, or Junior, as I call him, going to be holding the angle there with the AWP. Waiting to see if anyone does go peeking on into it. Meanwhile, Kashanda's going to be taking the duel out through mid as he pushes in through lower tunnels. Does have the crossfire set up nicely with Murr towards top mid. The issue is they don't really have anyone who can trade out with a lot of these players. You do have the 2 players over in mid who can trade for each other, but Junior's left alone over in apps with that bomb. And with only 35 seconds left, they have to be hot on their... So quick on their feet here to try and make their way to the site. Already Ramsey going to pounce on out now. It leaves Junior and Kashanda to try and keep them in this one. 25 seconds left, and Junior can't really make much happen. Kashanda's so far away that it all falls onto the lone AWP for Vega to try and open up this site. He's got 2 players to find. They have the crossfire set up. Kashanda's going to go down and walking out into the realm of B. That is Ramzik's turf, who goes ahead and gets the triple. Tengri on 4 now, and Vega, once again, no money, going to be buying down Deagles.
Yeah, this is a brilliant start for Tengri, already with a lot of money in their hands as well. They're a team I'd quite like to see actually make it far in this tournament, because having a sort of, well, CIS minor, we normally see the more Russian side of things getting through. I think last time, in fact, it was both. We saw Vega Squadron and Team Spirit. Well, I suppose Team Spirit is more of sort of a Ukrainian mix, but either way, we are going to have SNK starting things off, doubling down. Cassandra will be able to pick up 1, but can't pick up the AWP, unfortunately. And Pachan, the man himself, just mopping things up. Only 1 player lost once again, and they've kept these rounds so clear. Just looking through, I think they've lost maximum, well, other than the pistol, 1 player every single round. So 5-0. Pause already called from Vega Squadron, not feeling that this is working out so far. Although they have only had 1 bye round, so not really too much to worry about as of yet. They're on the T side as well, where it's not like hugely disfavorable, but it is still the weaker side of the 2.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, right? I mean, out of possible 20 players since they've gotten onto the rifles, they've kept 17 alive across the last 4 rounds, which is, you know, fairly ridiculous. They currently find themselves 5-0 up. They've got plenty of money building up in those bank accounts. Vega Squadron will have enough money to be buying on down, and the tank pool is going to be cool. I mean, I presume it's attack, right?
I think
it is attack. I just don't read it. But yeah, they do call in the attack, which I think you have to get behind that. They've called it in nice and early. They've realized there's a big problem for them, and I think a lot of it has just been the lack of trades coming on in. We really saw back in round 4 where they didn't have any trade potential there over towards mid, and they left a lot of it on Junior to try and open up that B bomb site all on his lonesome. So this time you're already seeing the AWP up on Ramzik. And over in mid, SNK going to be watching it with the AK on. Interesting enough, they opt to stick Ramzik actually over towards that CT to try and hold down the A-bomb site on his own. And it looks like they're going to opt to play him here almost solo. SNK going to be rotating on round to hold connector. But it does mean they've only got 2 players over here on A. Pachanga and Sonic over at the B-bomb site, and Fitch holding down mid. He's not only peeking on out, instead playing up on top of the cinder blocks. And this spot is incredibly versatile. He can rotate actually in through the hole in the wall into ladder room, as well as watching the potential push in from connector. It's normally one that isn't checked that commonly either, but it's one that we started to see picked up more and more as an actual position we see players play. And while this time Vega Squadron, they've got 3 players looking to make their way over towards B. That pop flash going to hold them back. Fitch, here's the player making his way in through short and does pick off Mir. So they do manage to grab the man advantage. No trade coming in once again. And now Vega Squadron looking to try and push in towards B.
45 seconds left, and Ramzik still has full utility. In fact, we've still got Janga as well with an incendiary. They're just going to be denying any of these pushes. It's going to have to be the wraparound. You can see the T's. They're going to go back, try and make their way into window, but there's still a player waiting. SNK with a free B kill. Knows they're actually going to be splitting back towards, and they're just being picked apart. Mid control taken back from the CT side, and a wonderful round. Late utility held, and Tengri looking just composed at the moment. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was another round when they didn't lose anyone. The buy going to be coming in from Vega as they look to try and finally do something. I mean, right now they've barely even done damage. I mean, they have 6 kills between them. Sonic hasn't even had to kill anyone yet. He's taken out a vow of pacifism. Well, this time their answer, they think, is going to lie in the A-bomb site. 4 players here for Vega Squadron off the back, but the double-up setup going to be well and truly in play. This time, you got Ramzik playing over in towards jungle. He looks to now be rotating back over towards CT to join Fitch. I think the call does get made. They don't really need him there. And he's a little bit hesitant, but now going to be joining these guys in CT. The push coming in out towards the A-bombs. Like, there's no smoke down for CT. This is where 3 players reside. Fitch can be able to pick off one as the trade's going back and forth. But ultimately, if you see it going to a 3-on-3, make that a 3-on-2 as Hutchie's able to open up this A-bomb site significantly. But now in comes Ramzik, going to come in swinging with the AWP, picks himself up one. Pachanga trying to hold things back with an AWP of his own. Here's the player cross up towards stairs. But you got to watch out because Mir's in CT and he's going to just dispatch a Ramzik. So now it falls on a Pachanga. 1 versus 2. Has the AWP to play with, but that is going to be it. Plenty of utility as well. They don't know where he is though, so he's got the element of surprise.
Throw down the smoke. Kanga looking to try and find an individual duel as he throws his AWP away. Mir will peek out, pop his head, and continue on. So it's actually the force that works out. And with the first time we're actually seeing a proper A execute, I'm definitely interested by the option to just leave open CT. I wonder if that was just a mistake or if they didn't have enough utility to actually cover it. But at the same time, they managed to get full jungle control, have a wraparound, and just pincer onto the site, and it worked. That's the important thing for them. It worked, but they've got to make it continue. They can't just have one. Obviously, Tengri making so much money, and already we're going to have some mid-aggression. Ramzik waiting with that MVP. Going to spot anybody out. They've stuck with the double AWP setup, which, as we saw in the last round in a retake, doesn't work at all. See if it works this time, just holding down these T players who are clearly trying to take full mid control.
And it's how much like Vega Squadron's economy could potentially do. I've just had a slight crash, so you'd take it away in this round.
Connect up. Looks like it may fall over towards him. Mir actually going to find the first pick of the round as well. He's actually going to go further, pushing back in. Maybe able to find SNK in a decent position over towards this window spot. Now, if he drops down, that will be the key. And it looks like this battle alone could just come down to timing. T's rotating the bomb over towards this A site where 2 players currently sit. So in terms of where the majority of the CT players are, this is where they'll be pushing in. The only problem is now, that's the backstab. Mir waits. He plays it patiently. Unfortunately, he's actually lost a couple of teammates in the meantime. It is all going to be onto Ramzik. He's in this CT spot. Hits one with the AWP. Got his teammate in behind. Mir going to peek out. The shot will actually be missed, but Mir isn't able to capitalize and will have to fall back. They're going to go into after plant positions. They are unaware of where the secondary AWP of Pachanga currently lies. Problem is, again, it's a double AWP retake. It's not going to be easy, and Pachanga saves his teammate's life. JR now, he's here with the AWP. Looking to try and find one of these players at least, but the smoke's going to go onto the bomb. He's going to switch to the rifle, but Pachanga will get both of these remaining kills. The retake comes in, and it is that instant reset for the T's. However, they may opt to force this situation.
Yeah, I mean, they have enough money up on it, Junior and Chopper, to buy it between. Kashana can be relegated down to either the UMP or the Tech 9. I feel like, the Tech 9's more akin to the way the meta's going right now and moving ever so slightly away from that UMP, and that's going to be the case as 2 Tech 9s bought up now for Vega. I mean, they can feel the extra utility on these players, and well, they're going to be keen to try and take one straight back. The only issue is, if they do forego this round, we're going to see the scoreline potentially reach 9-1 in favor of Tengri. So this is going to be pivotal for these guys, making their way out through mid. The smoke's going to be down, which allows them to make some aggression come out over towards short. The peak will be coming in from Pachanga, but the AWP, he will be caught out in the open, so he hits the deck early on. Now they've got an AWP to play around with, which they can pick up if they'd like to. Hutchie ready to push out in throughout. There's a lot of pressure on Sonic, and he doesn't get any work done. He had to go fast, and in the end, he didn't get any work. Instead, Rams are trying to hold back the tide of Vega Squadron in towards the B. Almost like would be picked off. SNK and Fitch left to try and clutch that. SNK's able to find one, but the crossfire set up from Hutchie doing so much damage as now he takes him down as well. The flank coming in from Junior could be the thing that makes or breaks this round. He has to be fast. If Fitch is allowed to get it out onto the site and eliminate Hutchie, then it's all over, but Junior does spot him. They know he's pushing on in, and Hutchie holds it down, picks the round up. And that's Vega to go ahead and return with a second.
A technical pause. I was wondering if Tengri were actually going to opt to try and change something in their setup, but clearly it's just something has broken, which is far, far worse. I think both JR and Chopper actually entered the board in that round, so at least that's something. We don't have any more double O's. T-side have got themselves another round. Now, CTs, again, they're still going to be able to buy, but this backward and forward sort of position is not going to help them out at all. It's much more damaging to them as they've got plenty more to purchase up. The utility is so much more important in terms of just denying aggressive pushes, and considering they've been going for a double AWP setup, they definitely need that extra cash. Now, at the moment, of course, they do have enough money to buy. A couple of players a little bit low, but they should be able to get drops. And Ramzik and Pachanga, if they want, could still even go for the double AWP setup. Although I don't think it's been working too well so far, especially because it keeps coming down to retakes, especially on A. The A site has not been particularly good in their defense, or at least denying the plant, which, in terms of having a double AWP setup, you kind of need that. You don't really want to be retaking when you have AWPs.
Yeah, and that's sort of been the one big change, is picking up that second AWP. And it hasn't really been paying off for them. Pachang has been one of the players to go down early on in these last couple of rounds. We saw him, even in the previous, go down on his aggression out towards short. And, admittedly, there was no one there to trade, which already causes some serious problems. But as you said, kind of coming into that later on, the double AWP also held them back in their retakes. So it's something which I almost hope they start to get away from. Pachanga is someone that we are normally used to seeing adopt that secondary AWP role and go ahead and pick that up when they do go for the double AWP setup, but it hasn't been working, and we saw them have a lot more success with the rifles. Ramzik is clearly feeling it with the AWP, but it does look like they might be fielding this double AWP buy once again, as Pachanga already with the AWP in hand. Plenty of money up for Ramzik to go ahead and get his if he'd like to. They either need to change how they're playing it, or they need to stop doing it. And, that's kind of the situation we've arrived at now.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Ramzik doesn't go and buy up another AWP. I'm intrigued to see how they... Because the way they were playing before, I actually quite enjoyed. Where he was sort of over in apps, having a little bit of aggression. Then we had the A site, the other AWP on Ramzik. And then you sort of had the two players... One playing just holding over by connector, and then you had one in window and one in ladder room, because it just enabled such quick rotations if needed, and they had all the sort of positions nicely done. But the problem is, like, the aggression coming up from Pachanga, I understand it, but it didn't work. Like, you go peeking into these angles. Vega are a very aggressive team. They're a team that have a lot of good individuals. We saw that like in the games in the previous CIS minor, where they were just incredible, and when they went on to the qualifier and beat NIP, it was just individually they were amazing. tactically, that's where questions start to begin with Vega Squadron. I don't think they have the same sort of depth as many other teams. I'm excited to see how Spirit will do now that they've had Starix at the helm for a little bit longer. Obviously, a brilliant tactician working with Na'Vi for quite a while and back in play once again. I think we've got them coming up maybe tomorrow. I think today we're just sticking with Group A, but I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. Today we are just sticking with Group A. I'm fairly sure. Now that I've said it, I don't want to be wrong.
You're not sure either.
No. But I mean, because Tom, mate, when I was doing my prep, you know me, I like my prep. I wrote down that today was Group A matches, so I presume that I'm being honest with myself and I'm not telling one big lie. But
past Harry lying to future Harry.
I know. He's a horrid guy.
But he's gone now.
Yeah, thank God. But yeah, I mean, seeing what we've been seeing from Tengri, I do think that double up setup is something that is going to be up for questioning. And as you said, I mean, Vega, they're a team that individually can be very good, but tactically they do run into some issues. And, you know, that's where we've seen them kind of fall prey to that a couple of times at least in the past. There's been games where it's often gone very, very close or, you know, been in the favor of Vega Squadron quite substantially. And then they can always start to throw rounds away. And you know, on top of that, right now, we've been saying these guys are good individually, but right now, I mean, looking down at the bottom of the board, JR are really not feeling it. Chopper having a fairly lackluster performance as well. Both of them on one frag between them is, you know, not going to be too great if you are Vegas with a team that's almost kind of known for having these individually great players. But it looks like the on pause is going to be called on in. That double up setup going to be in play for Tengri as they do opt to try it out one more time. I'm hoping we see a bit of a change come in how they're playing this.
Yeah, especially when you consider that having the double ups has actually like hindered them in other positions as well, because they don't have full utility. In fact, Fitch only has himself a FAMAS, which they have been doing well with, but he also only has one smoke. So it's not even like he was just dropping into the extra utility. That's all he could really afford, unless he was going to go for the trusty Now, once again, playing around this smoke, and it is working. Almost catching out Ramzik, down to just 8 HP. He's going to be the one taking the pick. They've got a player, this time, holding on to shore. So I quite like this setup. They've got a player on bench in Pachanga, playing more passively with the AWP. Not going to go aggressive. Going for a little bit of a tap through the smoke. Does do a little bit of damage. Not anything too impressive, but there goes Chopper. Gets himself his second kill of the game. Now we're back into a 4v4, and look at this position. Ramzik, will he be aware?
Pachanga's actually go aggressive up through apartments. Fitch being going to be able to find Kashana, but then it's instantly traded out by Mer, who is hard on his heels. Now they know that Mer's up in window at least. It should allow Sonic to try and find the trade, but no. Misses that very, very crucial shot. Pachanga now rerouting in through lower tunnels. So they look to try and make their way out through middle. They have to watch out because Mer's going to be holding the angle. The bomb hasn't been allowed to cross the site just yet. Ramsey can CT on a measly 8 HP, has to try and hold this back, but it's Pachanga to find the first peak. Going to be coming out from JR, but he misses the shot, and now Pachanga's allowed to go huge, gets himself a second before Chopper finally deals with him. They find themselves 1v2, and Chopper caught out in the open will be eliminated by Sonic. That is an 8th round now for Tengri. The reset comes in, and it's going to be very, very harshly felt by Vega Squadron. But it looks like they're going to force into it, which is an interesting decision to say the least. I guess that's because JR didn't really have a lot of money to invest, but it's a very weird one, Tom.
It's one of those situations where they're very far down. In the next round, you add 1900 and it's not really going to be much better. It would have been AKs though, and the fact that only some of them have sort of bought, like Chopper hasn't really invested fully, he hasn't gone for the extra utility. It's a bit weird. We'll see if it works. I'm not really feeling the faith so far, but they are going to go rushing into B, and Sonic is completely blind on the site. Will he go down? He's going to at least take one with him, but then the bomb should be planted. Ramzik dives into the action, but he's alone. Trade will eventually come out from SNK, but now, well, he's got a gun you like to see. It's the trusty MP9.
Here we
it's
go.
a 1v3 retake.
No, that doesn't matter. Not with the MP9. The MP9 itself counts as 2 players, so it is going to be a 3-on-3. As Fitch makes his way in. His teammate's going to be very, very close to him as now they push on in towards the site. Mer's going to be spotting out, but no, Fitch finds the first. Mer is to desperately try and refrag it. Fitch is getting work done, looking to try and prove that the MP9 is indeed the best. Going to be baiting out Mer into the site. Mer going to get the aggression, and there's Fitch with the 3K. Oh, he goes ahead and does it. That is perfect. Fitch, you monster. Showing that the MP9 is fantastic. Tengri to go ahead and secure a 9th. And I always said it should be bought over the UMP, and that there proves it.
No, that's not cool. How do you lose that? How do you lose that? Like, incredible stuff with the MP9. Magic done, but... like, it's almost as if they had no communication whatsoever. Like, actually none. That's just ridiculous. They will have another buy. It's going to be minutely better than the last round. They've no MP9 to hinder them this time, so no chance of an amazing retake, and they're going straight into A.
Yeah, just going to be charging on in. Into the waiting arms of Tengri, but it doesn't matter. Tengri, Fitch can open things up. Hutchie does get one back in return at least, but Rams are just going to take the aggression. Doesn't care. It's Pachang going to go ahead and pick himself up a second frag, but Hutchie does capitalize onto one from Sonic. Bomb is going to go down, and now they find themselves in a 2-on-3 in this retake. Hutchie's pushed up into connector. And, oh, okay, Ramsey, what the hell was that? Gonna go ahead and take him out in through the wood. No idea he was there. The defuse already coming on in, and Junior, he's so far away, so much to learn, and they grow up so fast, but not fast enough. As all the way over towards short, spotted out in the open, does manage to save the Galil at least, but it is going to be a 10th now for Tengri.
Just give it a go, and sometimes it'll work out. Shooting the wood. And that's unfortunate for Vega as well, because that position was so vital just for holding on long enough that they could stop a diffuser when they had a second player rotating in as well. Pause. I imagine it's Wait, what? Hello?
Hello?
Tengri taking attack pause after winning 3 rounds in a row? Clearly not happy with something, I guess. That's... I didn't see that coming. I was just about to say how, yeah, probably something's broken again, but no, they're gonna pull out some tactics. Clearly not happy. I guess the bomb going down versus pistols, maybe that's what they don't like. It seems to be they have quite a loose hold over on the ace side,
this is Tom. This is classic mind games. Okay, this is getting into the head of your opponent. I'm not even right. We actually see you speak about this a lot. I don't even know if you saw recently, but in that big old game G2 v North. For the Pro League finals, yeah, they were going to take tac pauses in the last couple of rounds just to tilt them, and the reason being is because there is a rivalry between those two teams. And I mean, if you ask me, they're 8 rounds ahead. I mean, that round wasn't perfect. They never, the bomb shouldn't have gone down, but regardless, it does pan out, just a-okay for them. So it could be the mind game. It could be them trying to adjust their setup just a little bit. And well, already Vega Squadron, just give them a little bit of time to try and iron out the problems they have been having. 3 players over here towards B early on. And they're going to find a little bit of damage on a Hutchie, but he does avoid it for the most part. It's looking like, with how they're set up, I think we're going to be seeing Fitch once again playing on top of the cinder block, so you can very quickly rotate over towards B if the bomb does decide to go there.
I like that spot. I like the little crossfire they've got going on, and it's clearly one of the setups that they're just sort of rotating in every once in a while. Not playing too aggressively over towards mid in some of these rounds, and well, this is the change, but Sonic is down straight away. Who's he gonna take that first kill? And Nade will go in. They're going to be able to slow down these T's a little bit, but it looks like Vega are quite happy to just take this man advantage. Bit of utility being thrown out. Now they're going to go pushing in. Pachanga is completely blind, but Hootie has walked straight past him. Doesn't actually spot out, but the bomb in the meantime going over towards A. It's all been an elaborate ruse as the smoke now goes down onto short. The CT side are left clueless as to where the bomb is actually going, as they are now stuck in no man's land.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah, the bomb is going to be down. SNK and Ramsey trying to retake this site. Well, they're making their way in through CT. They haven't foregone it just yet. They do want to try and make their way on through. And while Chopper's going to be holding down CT with the Galil, just biding his time, doesn't want to be peeking on out. They could potentially catch Mo off guard as he pushes up through short. It does leave them open. And actually, SNK going to just stick in the defuse. They can't shut it down, but no, thank God, Junior ends the madness. He puts a stop to the simulation. Ramsey looking to try and pick it up as he goes charging on. He's going to be sticking up, but JR denies it once more. Another round now for Vega.
I love the idea that he goes, no, this is how you do it. Just runs back into the smoke. Especially considering that JR has already hit the correct angle to get them from there. But either way, it is going to be another round on the board for Vega. And actually, this is potentially looking like it could be a 10-5, which, considering how a lot of these rounds have gone, I feel like Vega will have to just take that quite happily. So, Tengri, if that was a BM pause, maybe a little bit too soon.
Yeah, it could be coming back to punish them here, and well, 3 players early on over a mid. Hutchie going to be tagged out just a little bit early on from that D, but he's looking to try and do the damage onto Sonic out towards B. 3 players for Vega over a middle. Pachanga up short with the D, looking to try and shut these guys down. Vega could definitely go ahead and find themselves a 4th here. The one thing that stands in their way is that Catalyst up on Ramzik. Currently resides over in Window Room, but he's going to be holding the angle, waiting to see if a boost comes in. Also watching for any aggression up through short, and Mer's going to be walking out his crosshair, but he doesn't spot him on the cross. Pachanga going to be peeking out with the Deke. Pop flash going to come on through, but he's fully blind, still gets the frag. SNK going to go down in the meantime. The push coming in towards the B-bomb site as Hutchie goes charging on it and does spot out Sonic on the rotate back, but Pachanga's doing work with the Deke. He's still got serious work left to do, and Chopper and Hutchie will shut down the 2 players over towards B, but it's a 2-on-3 in the retake. Fitch and Ramzik, the Famis and Orp between them. No utility, no kits. They have to be fast, but it's not impossible.
Need to find a pick relatively quickly though, and there it is, Fitch with the first. Spotting out on Chopper as well, doing a bit of damage there. Ramzik still trying to make his way through, but it's all on Fitch at the moment. He's found a second, and now Chopper only on 20 HP. Has to do it quickly, but sprays through. Wonderful stuff from Fitch. Gets all 3 players on that retake and defuses the bomb to give Tengri an 11th.
Now as we approach the last round of the first half, it is going to be Vega trying to buy down what they can. 2 AKs, a Galil up on Hutchie, Mer relegated down to the Tech 9. Less than ideal vibe, they might be able to make it work. The only issue is, if they don't pick this one up, the pissed around can solely decide their fate in this matchup. And well, Tengri hungry to try and pick themselves up a 12th. It's going to be aggression early on over here towards Ramp. Fitch is going to be up close. Hutchie is there with the tech, sorry, with the Galil, waiting to see if anyone does push on through, and Fitch might give them that. With how Tengri are playing, their rotates in towards the A-bomb site can be so incredibly fast. Fitch just waiting as well on the site, going to be playing up close. Has to be careful because Chopper looking like he might try peeking on out. Push could be coming on through. There's actually only Fitch here. They made the decision to rotate everyone off. The timing couldn't have been better for Vega as they go pushing on through. SNK does find the equalizer back in a 4-on-4. Pachanga to be able to drop out Mer on the flank over in middle. So suddenly the whole situation flipped on its head. They're juggling weapons around on the site, fighting for their lives, and Hutchie doing the damage does find one. SNK could go down as the 3 remaining players just charge in towards CT and do the job of guillotining him. Hutchie on a measly 4 HP. The pop flash going to be coming out from CT, but it's going to be JR to find it. Pachanga, 1v2, goes ahead and gets the first and the second. But Kashana does do the job of finishing him off. And that's where you're going to find themselves a 4th at least.
Yeah, I think finally we see Vega's cure to their after-plant positions is just sheer aggression. Just pushing straight into CT, taking control of that spot on the map, and making the retake very, very difficult for their opponents. But in most of the rounds, I think that's been their main problem. Like, losing a 1v3 versus an MP9 is atrocious. 3 versus 2 in the last round. Every single player peaking at some point versus Fitch, like going into his crosshair. Whereas with the AWP, the likelihood is if you just sat back there, it's going to be very difficult for them to win the round, especially considering, from our perspective, they didn't have a kit. So, definitely work needing to be done on the T side from Vega, just in afterplant. So they got the bomb down quite a few times. They just weren't very good at actually holding onto it. Either way, they now move on to that trusty CT side. They've got themselves a kid on the chopper. A bit of utility will also stand on Sonic. And they've actually dropped Ramzik a Deagle.
Yeah, my game just crashed again, Tom, so it's all on you.
Aggression coming out from JR. But is he going to check for Pachanga in the corner? No, he's not, and he will go down. CT side looking for info. They find it. So find the loss of their first player. It leaves them quite open, in fact. You can see from Mer's perspective, he's trying to find something over on this mid spot. Ramzik with the D. Now, interestingly, he's playing like relatively close angles, which is quite odd considering he's holding a deagle, and the range is the main reason you'd ever have that on the T side. The rest of his team will, however, be setting up, and it's possible they're setting him for an after-plant position if they get it down over towards short. He's going to spot out one. SNK will decimate him as he pushes onto the site, and it leaves Chopper left alone. Gets himself the first, looking for more. Bomb is going to be going down, and it will enable that sort of short position. The flank going to be coming in, and this is all set up. This is all set for Ramzik to just hold this with the dig. The other players, they just have to do the work. Now the smoke is going to go onto the bomb. Chopper finds the kill, and actually they lose Ramzik over towards short. It's all on Pachanga. He'll be spamming away, but there's nothing he can do. The defusal comes in, and it will be a 5th round on the board for Vega.
Yeah, they go ahead and pick up the pistol at least, and this now could be a bit of a turning point from these guys. They just mustn't have too much damage done. At least that bomb going out for Tengri does mean they can afford to pop into the next, or they could try and force buy now. And as they put up the armor on Fitch, it looks like that might be the decision they decide to make. And I've got some deagles in play. They're going to be buying down. They've got 3 UMPs to try and utilize, which up against these unarmored opponents does mean they can make some fast, easy money.
Weird buy. Sort of denies them much of a chance of buying the next round, unless of course they win or get a bomb plant. But so far, early trade will be one of their armored players actually going down. Changi getting a kill means it's more likely he'll be able to purchase something into the next round. So I suppose that's something, and they're trying to make things as costly as possible for Vega. But going too well, though. Fitch actually has managed to get it. UMP goes pushing, but JR is going to be able to counter. Gives the man advantage back over towards the Russian side. Now, none of the armored players are still standing as well. It's all onto really SNK with that Deeg.
Yeah, this should be a relatively clean round here. SNK, the last player left alive, like you said, with the deagle coming in from behind, and should be able to find one, and that's Murder go down. Could actually potentially pick up a rifle here, and with the HP on Cassandra, Junior's not looking too healthy either, but it's Hachi in the flank to take him down. And Vega Squadron do go ahead and pick themselves up a 6th now. Tengri still have the money to buy on down. They don't have much utility up behind it, but they do have these AKs, the glues, and they did do a little bit of damage in the previous round. So I think we might even see Vega Squadron opt to keep these UMPs in play for the most part, which could be punishable by these rifles at the longer ranges. 2 players buying up Galil as well to get that extra utility. So actually, it's not that bad a buy coming in from Tengri.
Yeah, it's not bad. It could definitely be better. They're going to go for mid-control. Not really anything that JR can do about it. I say that. He actually sprays down one and does a hell of a lot of damage to the second as well. Great start to the round, and while the rest of the team are just doing so much damage, SNK is going to be able to climb one over towards this A side, but Mur is just not having it. He's going so aggressive all the way into middle, gets a double, and look at the remaining 2 players over on that T side. 38 HP between them. Now, JR's low. Not completely healthy, but Hootie's yet to be touched.
Going to be sneaking on out over towards the A-bomb site. No one actually here to hold them back. Hachi could peek on out from jungle and catch them now on the cross, but he doesn't look to be at all curious. JR's fallen all the way back into CT. So they are just going to be playing for the retake here. And SNK, as he goes aggressive, he has to watch out, but he could find himself the equalizer if he extends a little bit further. Bomb is going to be going down. Well, they don't hear it over towards B, but there are still 2 players who still find it a little bit curious. JR going to be spotted on out, and now it's a 2-on-2. This is where things get interesting, is the bomb time going to be taken away. Vega Squadron, they're the guys on the clock. Going to be pop flashing them out over towards CT. Hachi's here, but they think it's clear. Ramzik didn't bother checking the corner. The pop flash going to come on through, and Hachi mops them both up with a UMP. Vega to go ahead and pick themselves up a 7th. The bomb does go down at least. There's a bit of a silver lining there, but that is going to be it. As now Vega 11-7, slowly but surely closing the gap.
Yeah, they really did just take the fight to the T side in that round, and well, Tengri were pretty much shut down so early on that it was always going to be a fight back. Bomb plant, I feel, was a little bit generous, but it seemed like the CT side had an idea of what they wanted to do. Make sure that it was just, well, easily enough around for them by just going for more of a retake strategy over towards that A site. In terms of money in this round, well, Tengri have taken a pause to possibly make a decision. Haven't had the best of starts over on their T side, but it is only sort of the follow-up rounds to the pistol that we've expected. The early buy not working. Now I'm hoping that they sort of go for maybe a couple of pistols, but don't fully invest, but they're not. They're actually going to continue to buy, and this is actually a great way for Vega to be back in this game. I think this is one of the only ways that they would have done. I think if Tengri just played things a little bit safer, went for a better buy in that sort of third round, then we could be seeing the end of this already. Instead, we're down to just a 4-round difference, and they're force buying again.
And they are running the risk of starting to throw this one away, potentially. I mean, if they lose this, they're not going to have much money to invest into the next. Vega could then easily go ahead and find themselves in 9th round, at which point, you know, there's very little between them and Tengri. So that amazing first half isn't going to be worth anything if they now throw it away. Already over in towards mid, it looks like we might be seeing a boost employed as Pachanga and Sonic, the two players with Galil, are going to be posted up here, and they go ahead and boost Pachanga up in towards window, but Chopper going to be quick to shut him down already. They get very little done in return. Sonic pushing up through grenades, going to force the hand to Chopper as well. He's just locking it down, gets himself a triple as he pivots on the spot perfectly to find a little bit more, and that is now Vega with an 8th. Very little money for Tengri, and as we was just saying, Tom, not much to invest into this one. They might be buying down about $2,000 so they can get another force up once again, but no, it looks like they're gonna fully go for it. No, this buy is just weird.
This one I sort of understand because they'll have max loss bonus going into the next round, so you add 300-400 into what SNK currently has and he can still buy. So this is more just an attempt to do damage rather than anything else. But yeah, they've definitely put themselves in a position that didn't really need to be in. They could have had a couple of like solid buys, maybe even have an AWP onto Ramzik by now. Instead, it's more of a worrying situation. They're allowing money to build up over on the CT side as well, and considering some of the players seem to be waking up a little bit, like Chopper, at least when I saw the team last, was the star of this team. Hasn't been awake so far today. But in the last round, just absolutely destroyed his opponents. If he starts to come alive, then Vega Squadron, yeah, who knows, they could take this. They're only 3 rounds behind now. And unless a miracle happens in this one, it's only going to be down to 2.
And the bomb is going to go down, at least the retake coming in, but JR going to be hot on their heels. Finds the first. Ramzik's not looking too healthy. Does at least mop that one up now. Finds himself in the 1v2. Spots out Kashana, but he will be shut down, and that's the defuse to come in. They get the bomb plant, so they can afford to buy up. Finally, they're going to have, you know, a decent buy on the cards. Issue is, I mean, someone needs to tell them that you don't have to buy every round at this point. I mean, I don't really think we've seen them actually take an eco in the last 5 rounds, so I mean, you know, now they're going to go to buy up, but it isn't really worth it. They've gone 5 down and done very little in return. The economy of Vega's looking, you know, fairly fantastic. The buy can come in now, but I mean, you know, they could have had this rounds ago if they'd just taken an eco.
Yeah, this is sort of like the scenario of a risk versus reward, and for my liking, they were a little bit too much on the risk side of things. Now, they're still 2 rounds ahead. They've now got their 4 buy, but the thing is they've allowed Vega to get some momentum, get some money as well. So this is now a different game to what we saw in the first half. JR taking that aggressive peak, but there's a lot of players looking to try and control mid for this T side. They've got some presence over towards underpass as well, and the ramp, we have SNK still looking like this is the potential for an A hit, but with only 1 player over towards this A site, there's no dedication to either as of yet. That's a meaty nade.
And they've got control in middle, though. No one here ready to contest this. Mer going to be the player who could potentially do just that, but it's Hutchie who actually find the first one as Sonic, who gets caught unaware over towards short. The man of iron secured here early on from Vega. No equalizer found. SNK could be the man to try and open things up, but Mer still shutting these players down. Goes ahead and finds himself a frag in mid. Chopper quick to eliminate SNK, and this round just comes crumbling down around Tengri once more. Still hardly any damage done to the side of Vega as it all falls onto Ramzik. 1v5. He does find one at least onto Mer, turns it into the 1v4. There's only 40 seconds left though, and whilst he has been playing phenomenally well, a 1 versus 4 is probably a little too much to ask of the lone Tengri player.
Yeah, it'd be a 1 versus 5 after that first kill. So, yeah, they're praying for a miracle. And, well, just the position of Chopper, that was never going to happen. 11 to 10. No AWP saved either. They've got enough money to buy, so I'm not surprised to see them purchase in this sort of circumstance. The AWP really didn't have any impact in that round at all, other than the 1 kill. Sonic, like, when we were talking earlier about the fact he was 0 and 2 or 0 and 4, it wasn't too much of a problem. Now he's 3 and 16. Now that's a little bit more worrying, especially on the CT side. It's a lot less about sort of individuals and whether they can step up and find those entry picks. In this sort of circumstance, I think you're going to need players to step up.
Yeah, he's been one of the players who goes down for the most part early on for Tengri. No time to talk about those. Actually, going to be pushing one out towards the A-bomb site very, very quickly. Ramzik up and towards Palace, the player to try and help these guys out, but already they're just going to be cut down. Chopper doing the damage. Only gets 1 this time as Fitch is there to trade things back, but then it's JR to go ahead and answer. Trade back, fall them over in mid. Sonic tries coming in on the flank, but he doesn't get anything done. In fact, Kashana just rotates around on the spot and eliminates him, leaving this on Pachanga and Ramzik. Arguably, 2 of the star players for Tengri. Pop Flash going to come on through. Allows Ram to take the peak, but he's going to be falling prey to all 4 members of Vega as they charge on in. It's safety in numbers. As Pachanga soon finds out, he will go down, and that's Vega to find themselves an equalizer. 11-11 now, still yet to lose a round on their CT side. Tengri still yet to win anything, and I feel like a lot of that does fall onto Sonic right now.
Yeah, I think the blame needs to be shared, because I don't think anybody's particularly having a good performance, especially when you consider the last few rounds. We've seen 4 players surviving. Impact has been at a minimal, and a lot of them have fallen off since the first half. We now look at an even scoreline. Cassandra sitting with 12k in the bank. Hootie with 7,600 as well. Starting to get worrying for Tengri, and by starting, I mean it's definitely got there. Going back to more default strategies over towards this A site. Chopper is currently alone. Interesting, because he's now going to have a lot to do, but he does. Picks up 2, gives the man advantage over towards his CT side, who, well, don't keep it for long as SNK gets himself the double. No chance for a trade, and definitely intrigued by the fact that Vega didn't just opt to play that in a more retake scenario, considering they already had a man advantage, but now they have to do it with a man disadvantage.
Alright, they're going to do some serious damage out on Sonic. They're trying to make their way on in, and Sonic's just being whittled away by these nades. He's not looking too healthy. He does have players here to help him out. But he takes out the peak. Sonic finally stepping up, goes ahead and gets himself a second in this round. Looking for the third. Murd does shut him down, finding himself in the 1v2. Bomb timer ticking away from here. Just going to go ahead and smoke off the bomb. Looking to try and go for the defuse, but SNK holds it down. And Tengri do find themselves the 12th. And Tom, you and I both know producer Reese.
Yes.
His there's, how we've got Bodgan's Law? Or, sorry, Bogdan's? I always say it the wrong way around. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's fine. Yeah, well, there's producer Reese Law, which is whenever a team gets an equalizing round, so we just saw it go 11-11, the team that was in the lead is normally the one to pick up the next round and retake their lead. At least that's what he told me, and I've seen that to be true a hell of a lot. So there you go.
Well, let's see if that continues into the next round. Does he have a law for the round after that? Or is it just anyone's game?
Yeah, just anyone's game at this point.
Disappointed. I thought he was going to do the analysis for me and I wouldn't have to do anything. But never mind. Looks like I might actually have to do a little bit of work this morning. But we are going to have Chopper going aggressive. It may be that one round that has put them back into the lead, but it could be this round that actually sets them packing, as they are going to have that sort of problematic scenario of a reset. They've fallen back into a much more default round, and already JR with the AWP has started things off, but is quickly traded out as the aggression of Mur in mid will not work at all. Actually, they're going to be rotating over towards this A side. The position of Chopper could be vital, but he has to do more than just get 1 kill. Because if he gets 1 and goes down, it's positive for the T side. They can go into the site, there'll only be 1 player there. then the round will probably fall.
Yeah, just waiting outside of A. It's going to be Chopper up on ramp. The one who to really make a difference. He finds the first. Sonic does trade things out. So into a 3-on-3 we go. Kashan is going to be holding the cross from jungle. Looking to try and make his way over towards stairs. Actually just walking out in the open, and it does pay off as he manages to get across. Has the crossfire now set up with Hutchie over in CT. The timing has to be perfect. The bomb's going to go down. Smoke's raining on in. Render Kashan useless, but they do allow JR to push on up and join him at least at the helm of this retake. Hutchie over in CT to try and open things up, but it's going to be held back for the time being. Now they push on through. Plays very passively on the side of Tengri. Sonic the first to fall in towards under scaffolding. Pachang is able to get one. JR's going to miss the shot that could have been the trade. He misses it again, and Pachang is going to capitalize. Gets himself a second. He's reloading. He's tied around. Happy feet. And it's going to be Kashana to pick up one at least, but Ramzik is there to trade. And Tengri, they pick themselves up as 13th now.
And now, yeah, it's actually going to be an eco round for the CT side, so Tengri may have just woken up at the right time. 13 to 11. A few pistols, a little bit of armor. Really, they're just saving for that next round. Push straight out into middle. It's aggressive this time. Ramzik not picking up that AWP. Sticking with the AK instead, and Pachanga is going to start things off. The aggression in Palace not working for this CT side. 3 players, however, do lie over towards that connector at the moment, although the last couple of rounds at least, Tengri haven't really gone anywhere near it. They've just been hitting onto this A site through, well, I suppose, the more normal avenues.
Yeah, they look a little bit curious as to what A holds in store once again. There are 3 players here for Vega who can quickly rotate on through. You also got to worry about Sonic, who's currently lurking over there towards B. Can stop Hutchie from rotating in, so this now falls on the 2 Vega squad players in the A bomb site. Both of them in connector, caught out in the open. Ram's going to be doing the damage, and he lines them both up, just decapitating the players in connector, and that is a 14th now for Tengri. 11 on the board for Vega Squadron. They can afford to buy on down, but into the next round, if they lose this, they've got no money left, and that could allow Tengri to walk away with this one. So we saw them have a very, very strong start to this second half. They have to try and find their footing once more and pick it up if they want to stay in this.
Gotta appreciate a good transfer of spray from Ramzik. I think that's one of my favorite things to just watch in CS. Mainly because it's something I cannot do. Bitch, waiting. JR this time is going to be the aggressor over towards ramp. He has support from Chopper, but he's not actually watching the Palace, which is quite risky. JR will find the first, but he has to run for his life. Falls back towards the site, going to try and move into a more passive angle with the AWP. Chopper, however, will be up close. And he finds himself the kill. Kashandra with another, tries to spray control himself into the second, but can't quite manage it. Still play over towards middle, and Mer needs to be careful, but he will actually catch out Ramzik, who tries to lurk in from behind. Pachanga now, last one left alive. Bomb on the site, spots out Chopper at least, but he's being sprayed from all angles. And Vega will get themselves a 12th. And interestingly, the T-side money, actually not that good. It will be a buy, no question about that. We'll see how much utility they actually manage to get. Push is going to be in. Bitch. The Tech 9 a little bit more, but it is going to be the CT side able to catch every single player. Only 2 left, SNK and Ramzik. Like we may be about to go back down to 14-14 as SNK. There is nothing he can do in this round. 1 versus 5. They've been completely shut down on the aggressive B push. Well, he has the bomb. And a lovely little Molotov. If he can somehow get it down, he's got something to deny 5 seconds. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, it's not looking great for him here. trying to cross over by the window. It just has JR holding the angle. There's no way he should be able to make his way back into this round, but he does find one on a Hutchie. And then there's Chopper on the flank. Quick to shut him down. Doesn't want to give him any more opportunity into this round. It will be Vega to find themselves a 13th. The pause called on in. The tactical for Tengri. Early on, this looked like it was going to be a clean-cut victory for them. It wasn't until they switched things up over onto the T side, and since then, I mean, it's really all been going the way of Vega Squadron. That wasn't until the last couple of rounds. And since then, we've seen the resurgence come in from Vega. They've got plenty of money now. Plenty of utility. The AWP up on JR, and no money left for Tengri. Leaves them in a very awkward spot.
Yeah, they pretty much have to let it go 14-14. Like, we've seen them go for some more interesting forces when they were at the sort of beginning and they had a lot of rounds to play with. Now, if they were to force and they lost, that's the game. So they're just going to go for a couple of pistols, try and do some extra damage. The CT economy hasn't had a chance to build up. It's only been 2 rounds in a row, and there's still a chance they could actually reset them going into the last round of the game. It is looking like we are going the distance, unless there's some magic off those Deegs.
Yeah, Deeg magic is what they're going to need as they make their way in towards mid. 5 players here early on. It's going to be Mur up towards short, who could shut this whole thing down as they push on through the smoke. Sonic first hit the deck as Chopper's lighting up these echoing frags, trying to shut them down. Mur will fall. But now Hutchie's going to be quick to take up position over on short to try and find even more over in mid. Well, JR up in window. Going to have the crossfire set up. It's just a slaughterhouse down in middle. Awful's an SNK who's going to have the damage done to him from Hutchie. And then he will be dealt with. That's 14-14. The equalizer found. The buy going to be coming in from Tengri. And now if, producer Reese's law is correct, Tengri should arrive at match point. But don't hold your breath, because Vega Squadron have been looking phenomenal in the second half. Keyword there is in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Well, both teams look great on their CT side. The T side has been questionable, to say the least. I'd say that in the last half, Vega were lucky to even get 4. And, well, if we see Tengri do the same can be said to them. They've looked poor over on this T side, and definitely something that needs to be worked on. Majority of players currently sit over towards this B site for the Ts. JR is going to be the one to start. AWP in hand. It will be quickly traded out, and I'm not a fan of that aggression. It was unnecessary.
Yeah, Tom isn't a fan, and it probably shouldn't have been done. The bomb really picked up here by Sonic. As now Tengri look to double back over here towards A. You've got SNK up towards ramp. Ramsick over in Palace. The sort of null and void player in the form of Sonic going to be carrying the bomb. SNK to open things up. Kashana will go down. Still got the player over in CT to try and hold this back, and that's going to be Chopper. He's been in good form here in the second half. Back to the form that we would be expecting for a player of his caliber. Looking to try and hold down this A-bomb site from CT, and they're just going to wait. They found that early frag. Now, they don't want to try and capitalize on it too quickly in the fear that they've already rotated players around. Instead, they're going to line up all the utility they can and almost try to double bluff this. Instead, it's not actually paid off. Mur's already rotating in through CT. As a result, they are going to have to contend with 2 players here instead of just the 1. Utility now going to rain on through. They block off jungle and stairs, but not CT, and that's going to be much to their dismay. Chopper's already pushed into the site, holding it from the Ninja Defuse angle. He picks up the first Sonic to go down. He's doing more damage, getting a load of work done. Gets himself a second. Mur chiming in with 1, and now it all falls on a Pachanga, flanking in through connector. Trying to make some magic happen, does drop JR, but he's still got 2 frags left to find, and only 14 seconds left to do it. In rushing into the site, Mur will shut him down, and Vega Squadron, they're going to be the team to arrive at match point, and that's going to be terrible if you're Tengri, because now they have so little money to invest into this round.
Yeah, they're very lucky there. The Chopper just played that incredibly. Just found both kills pushing into the site, damage onto the 3rd for his teammate to eventually pick up, and after they got the man advantage, just pushing into apps like that, it's just not necessary. You have a man advantage, you should just stick with it. I think they're just playing confidently, which you can't really take too much away from. But now they're looking for that map point. Reese's law has been broken into Reese's pieces, and now we are going to have the CT side ready and waiting for this A hit.
And while Starladder pushing on through. Sonic, the first man to fall as Chopper lighting these players up like an Apache. Kashanda's going to go down actually into a 4-on-4, and Chopper's next to follow. Suddenly this round going to be turned onto its head. Back into a 3-on-3 we go as Mur does find the equalizer at least. Fitch going to take the aggression, but will be spotted out by Hutch. He has a little bit of damage done. They haven't got the bomb down just yet. They've got a little bit of utility scavenge that will allow them to smoke off the cross. The bomb is going to go down, planted for mid. And actually, as we see Mur opt to rotate out from middle, we could indeed see one of these players now make their way over towards short to watch that bomb plant, but instead falling back over towards ramp. Fitch has to watch out because Mur is going to be hot on his heels on the flank. The retake, the 3-on-3 looming, and Tengri have to win this to secure overtime. There's a lot of pressure here, and already they've lost Fitch. He was the player who could have been the difference maker in this round. Ramsey going to be tagged down low, does at least pick up the frag on a Hutchie. Pachanga's going to go down. It falls on Ramsey, 26 HP in a dream. The pop flash going to come out. He takes the peek, and Mur shuts him down. The 3K for Mur to secure Vega Squadron the win, 16-14. It was looking like it could have been Tengri's game. I mean, what? It was 11. It was an 11-4 scoreline in that first half, and then Vega Squadron pull it back to a 16-14 in their favor.
Yeah, no, very well done by them on the CT side, it has to be said, but it came way too close, and you have to wonder if that was more just their opponents really throwing things away. We will have, of course, another match coming up relatively shortly. It's going to be, I think, the upper bracket match, which will now be between Vega and Spirit Academy. So, yeah, and then I think after that, do we have... Yeah, I think we'll have the lower match and the decider, so... Plenty still to come your way. Make sure you don't go anywhere. I'll be updating the overlays in just a second to show you all that good stuff. And we'll be back in just a moment.